Hey guys, it's Alexis. Welcome back to my channel. So this is another installment of Military Monday where I talk about all things that you out there as a mil spouse need to know. And I realize that a lot of my videos I use acronyms or just different words that aren't necessarily common in civilian life. So I thought I was just going to compile a nice video of all of the words that I think you'll need to know as a spouse and what they mean and how they pertain to your life as a spouse. So let's just jump right in and start. Okay. So I was trying to think of how to do all of these in a way that kind of is like timeline, like how, like you'll need to know these at the beginning of your spouse's journey and all the way down. First things first, BMT. BMT stands for Basic Military Training. It's very simple, very straightforward. It's those 8.5 weeks at the beginning of your spouse's military career where they come down to San Antonio, but that's their training period with everyone. From there, they'll go on to tech school, which is where they learn their job, or specifically, their AFSC. Their AFSC is their job title and description when they take the ASVAB test. MEPS is Military Entrance Processing Stations. They are located throughout the United States, typically only in the bigger cities. So like in the state of Oklahoma, everybody, no matter where you're from in Oklahoma, goes to one MEPS station, and that is in Oklahoma City, downtown Oklahoma City. I have seen that one. That is where my spouse swore in the first time and where I said goodbye to him before he came down here for 8.5 weeks. But again, there's probably one in any major city close to you, or like the biggest city in your state if you're in a state that's kind of like Oklahoma. Okay. So one that you might need to know during the basic graduation weekend is ITT. I talk about it a lot on my channel, especially in reference to Disney and traveling. The ITT is Information, Ticket, and Travel Office. All of the information and tickets for a lot of the local things to do in your area, and also major travel points. So I know at our ITT office, they offer stuff for California, Florida, and then the local area. And then depending on where you're at in the country or out overseas, will depend on what your ITT office has to offer. In conjunction with them, there's also a leisure travel office, and this is who we always book our Disney trips through. So the leisure travel office is where me and my spouse book our Disney trips through. That is the only way you can get to the military room and dining plan discount. And I will include a link right up here to my video that discusses all of Disney's military discounts, because I go way more in depth than that. The next word, or acronym, is PCS or PCA. Something you're gonna hear a lot once you get operational, which is just your spouse is no longer in training. You're at your FDS, which is your first duty station, and it varies depending on job. I know at least with my spouse's shop, he will not probably PCS or PCA until he's there for like at least 3 years, I think. I'm not sure. But PCS is Permanent Change of Station, and that means you go to an entirely different base. It could be a different base in the same city. For instance, San Antonio has 3 operating bases right now. I don't think Camp Bullis is operating fully like a normal base, but you have JBSA Lackland, JBSA Randolph, and JBSA Fort Sam. Now, even if he was going to Fort Sam Houston or Randolph Air Base, it would still be considered a PCS. A PCA is different. It's a permanent change of assignment. This means that you're still at the same base, but you're working for a different unit or a different squadron. Okay, something else you'll need to know, whether you get to travel with your spouse to tech school or you're waiting until you get to your first duty station, is the BX and the commissary. The BX is the base exchange. It's kind of like a mall, at least all the ones that I've been to, but I've only been to some of the bigger bases. It includes your, kind of like your Target or your Walmart, in that it has electronics and clothing and shoes and pet goods, and it has all the things that you would find like kind of like at your typical Walmart or Target, but it's tax-free. And you also have a few other perks, like there's a lot of designer clothing and accessories that you can get at a BX that's still tax-free that you can't get at like a Walmart or a Target. So there's a lot of perks for being able to shop there, but you have to have your dependence ID, or if you're active duty, you have to have your CAC to be able to shop. Or you have to be with somebody who has those things. So that is something. But at RBX, there's also, it's kind of like a very mini mall, because it has the BX and it has like a couple of like those food court style restaurants, and it has a GameStop and a Claire's. So certain third party out in the world stores like GameStop or Claire's, I'm trying to think if there's anything else, Subway, a couple different restaurants have contracts with the military that allow them to have businesses on base. So you'll find a lot of those things in your BX as well. Your commissary is your grocery store. That is where you'll find produce, the deli, the meats, frozens, like anything that you can get at your local grocery store, which I'm going to show you where I'm from geographically, which could be like an HEB, Food Pyramid, Food Lion, Weiss, Giant, Redner's. And if you're from Pennsylvania, you're like, oh my God. But it's going to have those types of things. The next word I'm going to tell you is TDY. It is temporary duty orders. Yes, temporary duty orders. And those are if your spouse is going on assignment to another base to like take a class or to help out another squadron. TDY, it's temporary. They're not typically gone longer than a couple of weeks. Again, that is based off job. So the last word I have for you is TMO. TMO is something you're only going to need to worry about when you're moving. It is the Traffic Management Office, which seems kind of weird because you only use it when you're moving. It's not like it's an off-sect of security forces, but that's who you go to deal with moving. I think whether you're doing it yourself or you're having the Air Force hire a moving company to come in and move your stuff when you PCS or PCA. It is the office on base that'll handle coordinating all of that. You give them your orders and they'll help you move the stuff. I know when we did it, we did it after we got here because this is our first duty station. We went into them, we told them roughly how much stuff was in our storage unit, like the weight of everything, and they scheduled all of that. They told us when it would be here and when we'd be able to, like when they would be able to bring it to our house and all of that great stuff. But they will help you out. Your spouse, if your spouse doesn't already know where to go for that, tell him to talk to his first shirt. They should be able to help him out with anything that he or she, your spouse, anything your spouse needs. So that are all of the words that I have. If you can think of anything else that you might have a question about, any acronym that you heard or anything that you don't quite understand, if you're in the early stages, you can leave them in a comment down below. I will do my best to answer to the best of my ability, and if I can't, I will ask my spouse, who, if he doesn't know, he can ask somebody at his shop. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!